Welcome everyone to Israel Energytech Changemakers. We have a live audience here, and thank you to everyone that's joining us on the live stream at home. So, this is going to be a great event. You're going to have a three-part series of this event. We're going to release some great information. You're going to hear from some top energy influencers, and then a few of the new VCs that are going to be entering the field. But I'm going to do something that's super strange to me. It's a little bit awkward. I've never done this before. It's sharing the stage. And it's sharing the stage with one person in particular. He's my co-founder, he's my best friend, he's like an older brother to me, Escher Littman. How's it feel?
Whoa. So that's how it feels, basically. Big lights, big stage. I kind of like it. Cody, it's an honor to share the stage with you and to share the room with such an important people that all of us together pushing the Israeli energy tech ecosystem. It's hard to believe that it's almost having 3 years since we did our first event.
I know. It's our third birthday coming up, and we're gonna have a little soiree. We're gonna have you there. If you can't kind of notice right now, I'm a little bit stiff. I'm at the tender age of 29, my back is out. But there's something that Escher and I like to do after we hit a milestone achievement or after an event like this. It is
we dance a little.
We dance a little. And I invite all of you to dance a little bit. Don't worry, we will make the happy hour. But the people in this room and the people on the live stream, you are the ones that truly are the change makers. Everyone has influenced energy tech startups and everyone in this energy sector to challenge, to get difficulties, to help them overcome.
Cody, let's hold on with dancing for a second. What are all of us, as the Ignite the Spark community, have done to make a change?
Well, we have 2,000 members, over 1,000 members in our LinkedIn group. Thank you.
We have an grant awarded community, Women in Energy. It's extremely vibrant one, and it's led by the one and only Roni El Halal Givon.
And then we have Ignite Academia. Ignite Academia has been awarded a grant as well. We have 6 different clubs across universities, and these clubs are basically breeding the next generation of entrepreneurs and having a deeper dive into the technologies and having a deeper understanding.
When it comes to future generation of entrepreneurs, we just finished the first volume of Energy Pioneers of Tomorrow. That's our next energy entrepreneurs workshop, and we are about to launch volume 2 together with Bar Ilan University.
So I know Escher is extremely humble in most cases, but I'm extremely proud of him. Escher met with the Prime Minister's office and gave a full report of the energy tech sector and what is needed, what restraints we have, and what we need to move forward as a community and as a sector.
And on top of that, we have amazing 19 volunteers that makes all of this dream possible.
It's amazing. You're going to hear from some of them in just a few moments.
Exactly. Should I tell them about a new podcast which is launching?
Escher, no.
Other surprises that we're planning?
I'm never going to let you on stage again.
So I think it's the thank you moment.
Yeah.
So Cody, I'm really honored to share this stage with you. I know that sometimes we fight like brothers, but most of the time you're a bearable person.
Okay, that's really nice of you to say, but I'll end it on a nicer note. Thank you for being my co-founder. I'm extremely happy as an Oleh Chadash to have met you and to build something like this.
Thank you.
And then I think there's some more thank yous that you should give.
Definitely. Hila, Yuval, the Israel Export Institute. You are an amazing partner, and this is the inception of something much greater. I'm sure about that. And Startup Nation Central and Michal, our angel. Thank you very much for making this dream possible. You making 99% of our dreams possible, I think, on a daily basis sometimes, and we are thankful for the entire Essence Startup Nation Central team and for you specifically.
So before I bring up Yael Weiss, and she could actually come up right now and join us, she's going to be presenting our 2022 Israeli Energy Tech Innovation Landscape Map. This is going to be our second map that we've done, and I'm going to let her discuss a lot more about it. But this is something that's not just photographically appealing and it's just a picture. This is something that actually influences and changes the ecosystem. And I'll let her tell more. So, are you ready for 2022? Woo! Are you ready for 2022? Thank you.
And thank you for coming to Startup Nation Central. It's a pleasure to be hosting this event together with our partners, Ignite the Spark, the wonderful Eshe Lipman and Cory Norton, and the Israel Export Institute, Ila Lipman and Yuval Yerushalmi. It's a pleasure to be hosting this with you today. So we are Startup Nation Central. We're a nonprofit whose mission is to advance Israel's innovation ecosystem, its economy and society, and its standing around the world through innovation. We have two main pillars of activity. One is ecosystem development, and we're particularly devoted to supporting the growth of a number of sectors in Israel's ecosystem innovation of ecosystem, which are agri-tech and food tech, Industry 4.0, health tech, and now, starting in 2022, also climate tech, which is the sector that I have such a honor to be leading. Our second pillar of activities is what we call innovation diplomacy. And in this space, we're working with government leaders and international agencies in order to advance Israel's standing in the world through innovation. Now, this event is just an opportunity to get you all together, innovators, investors, policymakers, academic researchers, and corporations, of course, community members, in order to celebrate Israel's innovation in energy. From the perspective of climate tech, and this is a subject that is so dear to me, we're talking about the innovation that is needed in order to make sure that we manage the climate crisis, to mitigate the emissions and to deal with its effects. And the energy sector in this context is just so core to it, because about 70% of the global greenhouse emissions are coming from that sector. The global energy systems are going through a rapid transition, which is triggered by a simultaneous shift in technology advancements together with regulations, consumer demand, and investor sentiment. And the Israeli energy tech ecosystem is just rising to the demand and proving itself. Israeli innovation in low-carbon energy systems, such as in hydrogen, renewables, energy efficiency, energy storage, waste-to-energy, and so much more, are prone to play a key role in accelerating the global energy tech revolution. And we're just so lucky, because in this room today, we have some of the key people that are working on a daily basis to make that happen. So now, without further ado, it is my pleasure to unravel the new Energytech Landscape Map. A year more or less has passed since the first one was released, and it has, sorry, that's not working. Back, oh my God. Help. No click for me. Great. So a year or more or less has passed since the first map was released, and it has become a real tool, an asset for innovators, entrepreneurs, multinational corporations, and corporations as well in Israel to discover where Israel is making a difference in this space. The Israeli innovation ecosystem is dynamic, as we all know. And so we're releasing an updated version, 2.0 if you'd like, featuring around 100 companies with about 20 new faces and lots of success stories of M&As, IPOs, and collaboration opportunities of the companies that are profiled in this map. Same as our ecosystem, this map is also dynamic. And you can use it in order to grow your understanding of the sector. For example, by clicking Thanks for the, yeah. By clicking in these icons, you can learn about the definitions for the different elements that make up the energy sector. As well, of course, if you click on the profiles of the companies, you're led to the profiles on Startup Nation Finder, which is our online tool to discover more of Israel's innovation ecosystem. And you can access through that curated information about the company's products, markets, investment rounds, and more information. Another aspect of this map is how we have highlighted some elements that are key to the climate change conversation, such as hydrogen and carbon mitigation, with color-coded icons to identify the companies that have solutions that are specific in this space and others. This is the opportunity to thank to a number of people that have been pivotal in creating this project. First of all, to Maor Perlov, where are you? Over there in the middle. Our information specialist, who's been so crucial in validating the information that is behind this work and continues to do so every day because the information is continuously updated. As well as I'd like to thank, of course, Eshel Lippman, our good friend from Ignite the Spark, for the vision and the energy and your expertise that has contributed to making this a reality. And I'd also like to thank, of course, the Israel Expert Institute for the data exchange. And I'm really confident that the same as with the previous one, this map will again become a critical asset to help the community grow. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm so happy that you're not the lead of the climate tech sector. I think that's one of the biggest things. And Startup Nation Central has been great with helping us with this map. This map, as she just said, if you look at it, has everything broken down for you. And it's already online. It's on our LinkedIn. You can go ahead and download it. You don't need to take a photo. You could download it. This map is online. So let's see the power of the community for those at home. And then later, everyone that's in the audience, go to our LinkedIn page, Ignite the Spark, and then you could download this map and play around with it. Now, we're going to get into the portion of our top 6 energy influencers. These are the individuals that we feel are making a huge impact. And there are going to be some interviews. We're going to have some questions. You're going to have some insights for them. And it's going to be a little rapid fire. So I want to bring up first Dr. Yael Barash Fuhrman. She's the Deputy Chief Scientist at the Ministry of Energy. And then Roni Giron, who's the head of our Women in Energy. Microphones are right there. Some on the right.
Good afternoon, Yael.
Good afternoon, Roni. Thank you. Oh my God.
No.
Influencer.
Same as you.
Thank you.
So I think our audience is very curious. So tell us a bit. The unit of the Chief Scientist Office in the Ministry of Energy is doing a lot to endorse innovation, and they deserve applause for this. So tell us a bit, what is the selection process to whom you are giving the grants? What is very positive? What is lacking from your perspective?
From the entrepreneurs. Okay, so hello everyone. Yes, so the Chief Scientist Office in the Ministry of Energy is giving 3 types of grant. One type is for academia, another one is for startup companies. So if you have an idea, you don't have a company, you're just thinking about something and you want to submit, you can submit, okay? Just put your ID number and submit on time and we'll check it. And then, so that's the startup fund. It's 1.2 million shekels of a grant, of a project, and we give 62.5%. So it's 750,000 shekels for this ID to get his arms and legs, the startup. And then we give funds also for pilot and demonstration In that case, if it's either 3 million shekels and we give 50%, and it can even be 6 million shekels if it's alternative fuels for transportation. So that's very technical. Just very important, if you hear it for the first time, to submit on time. How do you do that? You can either sign for our, to get the news from us, or be part of Ignite the Spark or any other energy community, and just when you see it, you start to fill the forms. Okay, so what is very interesting and what is lacking from the Israeli entrepreneur? So what we love to see is sometimes you get an entrepreneur that know nothing about energy, but he is an entrepreneur and he comes with an interesting idea. And I think what we do in the Ministry of Energy that is very unique to us as opposed to the Ministry of the Authority of Innovation is that we like the spark. So if we see something very new, very different, we really like to invest in it and take the chance with that entrepreneur, and we do it over and over and over. Sometimes we get mad at Gideon, the Chief Scientist Office, that he doesn't stop, but we will invest in a company over and over again if we believe in the idea and we really want to support. So that's what I love, is sometimes you get such a crazy and beautiful ideas like aviation. So electrical plane, it came from an idea that was really what Israel has to do with the aircraft, and nothing about energy and energy storage, and now they're doing it. So that's one example. Okay, what is lacking? I think sophistication. What I mean is that really it's not enough technology from the technology point of view. Like I would really like to see more like okay, everyone, it's like the buzzword today, so H2 Pro, or technologies that come from the academia with an amazing entrepreneurship and grow. Okay, also I can drop more names, so Luminescence Power and other companies that they were born in the academia, so all this professor that enjoy their academic life, I really would love to see them take the risk and become a part of entrepreneurship and submit for things that are other than the academia. That will make us very happy.
So I think if you have an innovative idea, just fill the form and we are here to help.
Also, I'll tell you, there is a good chance to actually win a grant. So because if you look at the statistic, it's like 1 to 3. So really, you just need to be above water to win it. So, and I have to say one more thing is that we give you the judgment report, and we give it as is. So it's a very detailed report. So even if you failed the first time, we love it when you submit it again. And if we see a change, like it's really annoying that it's the same, but if we see a change, we love it, and then we'll support you.
Thank you, Yael. So in 1 minute, from your perspective, why is 2022 is the year of energy tech?
Okay, so I feel it's the decade of energy tech. Like now, every year you feel like now we are in the peak, but the peak is like a tsunami. It's going higher and higher, and I feel like it's the decade of this. And I feel that all the government and the different ministries are all aligned. Like they all want to help. I don't know if they help, but they really want to help. Like the Prime Minister office, opened the sandbox, the green energy, and they all are really tuned to listen what is missing. And, from the Prime Minister to the Ministry of Environment, the Minister of Energy, the Ministry of Agriculture, maybe the authority, the Land Authority, God bless if they'll help. So all of that, I think it's align us to the energy tech generation, I hope.
Thank you, Yael.
Thank you both. It's actually interesting that you talked about H2 Pro and going from academia to actualization, because we're going to have Professor Avner Rothschild, who's the co-founder of H2 Pro, come up, as well as Yonit Sazari. She's actually from Ignite Academia, the head of Ignite Academia with us. And we're going to be, the two will be having a conversation here. Come on up, and you two will be having a conversation that I think is a perfect segue from what we just heard.
Hello? Okay, perfect. Hi, Avner, how are you?
Good to be here.
So
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So a few questions for this special event. As both a renowned researcher and a co-founder of a promising energy tech startup, what is your view about the transition from academic research to commercialization and global scale growth?
So thank you. It's a good question, and I'd like to bring you my experience about this. So first of all, in a nutshell, it's all about ideas and people. So that's the short story. The long story, I think maybe I share with you my experience in H2 Pro. So it started more than 10 years ago in academic research that has nothing to do to what H2 Pro is doing today, not the technology that we developed. It was about, my research field was on photoelectrochemical water splitting. So it's kind of solar cells that directly convert solar energy into hydrogen by splitting water molecules in a process called electrolysis. And then, you know, I was kind of forward thinking, let's say that we solve our issues in the academia and try now to, you know, to bring it up to scale. So then there is a big issue here, how you collect hydrogen. Hydrogen is gas, is the smallest molecule, the lightest molecule, is very, very leaky. Now you need to collect hydrogen from millions of individual cells, and that requires a tremendous effort just in the pipeline, the gas pipeline. And that kind of was a showstopper for me, and I was kind of thinking how we can get around this problem. And the way how we developed together with my colleague and partner and friend, Professor Gideon Grader, also from the Technion, the way that we developed, the solution we developed to this problem was actually the starting point of H2 Pro. It's not directly, it came as a kind of a discovery that was made in the lab nearly by accident by my doctoral student, Avigai Landman, that then we thought, okay, why this unusual thing happened? That was the start of the idea that brought us to develop the technology of H2 Pro. And then together with Dr. Chen Dotan, who is really the power behind the company, he is now the CTO. Back then he was the research director in my lab. We kind of delved into this and developed this idea into basically a proof of concept. Now this proof of concept was taking an electrode about the size of my finger and bringing it from one cell to another. The cell is just a cup. Okay, one with cold electrolyte, the other one with hot electrolyte. So imagine a student doing this 100 times. That was the birth of H2 Pro. Once we figured this out and demonstrated that it works in the lab, we published an article in a top journal and then started to draw attention to this technology. And the next step was bringing in Talmon Marco and his friends. We call them the Vibers, but actually they're called the Pentalab. And really they helped us, first of all, establish H2 Pro. It was established in 2019 and make tremendous roadshow that, you know, today, as was said before, yeah, today we are the buzzword. So that's the idea and that's the people. And the people come from both academia. The idea was born in academia and kind of totally out of the nowhere thinking and letting excellent students, Chen and Avigail, bringing my ideas into reality. That took us several years, okay? You know, I speak about this here in 1-2 minutes. It took us several years. By the way, the first effort did not success, only the second solution was successful. So that was the nucleation. And then together with entrepreneurs like Talmon, it really nucleated importance of energy tech and climate tech. So transferring these ideas from the academia into entrepreneurs and into government institute, into real business, I think that's what will make this year the year that will ignite this energy tech.
Thank you, Abner, and good luck with the new factory.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So I think it's a perfect, maybe I can get my microphone on, but maybe not. So I'll just continue talking. So I think it's a perfect transition as we talk about investment from the Ministry of Energy, academia, then we go into actual investments. So I would like to actually invite up Roy Fuhrman, Managing Director of Doral Energytech Ventures, and Yael Weiss, who we heard from earlier, who's the head of clean tech sector here at Startup Nation Central.
Hi, Roy.
Hey, good afternoon.
It's good to be back. Roy, first of all, just a short fun fact about Roy. Roy actually speaks good Spanish, I have to say. So I was planning to do this in Spanish. What do you think?
Un poco, amiga. Nothing more than that.
Yeah, okay. That's good. Well, Roy, so I have to say, so the Doral Energy Tech Ventures was established around 13 months ago, more or less. And so far, you've conducted around 10 investments in Israel and abroad. That's very impressive, I have to say. So congratulations on that, first of all. I think he is a real influencer in the room. Now, thank you. Roy, why is 2022 going to be the year of energy tech in Israel? And what are your plans to support that?
Okay. If I can just grab like 20 seconds, because I think that the real influencer are the Ignite the Spark team, Cody, Eshel, and the entire team. They're doing an amazing job to boost this ecosystem in like 24/7, around the clock working for that. So thank you for all this huge contribution. So 2022 started with Adionics raising 27 million, Prisma Photonics 20, I think, Schneider Electric and Future Energy Ventures, H2 Pro. That we invested in H2 Pro and Adionics as well with more than 70 million raised. So we started 2022 pretty good, I guess. But I must say that 2022 will not reach its full potential if we will not, as a community, will collaborate. And this is a really important messaging for me in this event. In the energy and the climate tech domains, which are pretty complex ones, collaboration is the key. Collaboration in many ways, from corporate VCs to financial VCs to entrepreneurs, in between investors. This is really, really important. Our plan for 2022 is to go even bigger. In 2021, we set up an accelerator program alongside 8200, 8200 Impact, and Bank Hapoalim, a dedicated track for energy and climate tech startups that they will have like an infrastructure or room to grow. So this was the first cohort was started in September, and we're planned to boost this operation. At the same time, we also built a boot camp, and we will have an extended boot camp in 2022 for growth stage companies alongside the European Innovation and Technology Institute, to have a bridge between Israel towards Europe and vice versa, to have a better exposure to the innovation in Europe. Thirdly, we signed on a very interesting agreements with the Technion and with Bar Ilan University, and we are funding around 6 different applied research programs. We truly believe that innovation will spin out from the academia, and this is one of the reasoning for us trying to enlighten a bit the professors to solve things in the real life and to have more to transition a bit from fundamental research, which is also pretty okay, but to also do like applied research programs. And we are also working on a very exciting endeavor that we will hopefully share on in the near future regarding creating an energy tech and climate tech hub for entrepreneurs that have an idea and that they will be able to get some support. So this is in a nutshell our modest planning for 2022.
That is modest, I have to say. No, congratulations, and thanks a lot for laying out a blueprint for continuing to develop the energy tech sector here. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
I want to thank you both. Maybe I'll take this since my headpiece isn't working. So the Madonna looks good. I feel like Britney Spears, but no one could hear me. So I think it's extremely interesting. So we've heard from the academia side, we've heard from the Ministry of Energy, we've heard from the investment side. I'd love to hear from a regulator. Yoav Katvoy is the acting chairman of the Israeli Power Authority. I'd love to invite him up and have a quick conversation and ask him some tough-hitting questions that I hope he's ready for.
Really? You said the easy question, no?
Yeah, it's questions. Yeah,
questions.
maybe it's some questions, maybe it's some conversation. So thanks for joining. I know you were in Jerusalem today, so thanks for coming all the way.
I was in Jerusalem. Thank you for inviting me. I'm actually quite excited to be here. I feel for some reason like joining a party of my daughter. I feel like the old guy in the room. Everything is so high tech, and I'm the regulator, very slow and heavy. But
well, look, you kind of said it. I don't want to be too forward, but you may be considered one of the strictest regulators in Israel. And it's hard that you haven't maybe endorsed as much innovation comparable to other organizations or other ministries or regulators. So how do you perceive how everything's going to change so we can reach the goals in 2030 and 2050, and what we're going to be able to do and how we can use these technologies to then implement it into the grid and be innovative?
Well, I'm not sure I agree with the fact that the PUA is one of the strictest regulators in Israel, but I can understand why people might think so. Look, electricity markets are very, very complicated, very holistic, and they possess many inherent market failures, which makes them all around the world, by the way, very heavy regulated. In fact, electricity markets are not only regulated, they are actually designed and organized by regulators and policy. And as you might suspect, sometimes regulation, innovation, and innovation are not the best of friends. Regulation is combined with many strict rules, and it's very hard to change regulation that was already written because it's complicated, because of legal restraints, and sometimes just because of procedural requirements. But it still doesn't say that there's nothing to be done on the level of innovation, and I'll try to explain how we approach it. But before that, I want to emphasize that I heard a lot about technology here, and I think innovation is not only about new technologies and R&D and grants and waivers. Innovation is also about, for example, new methods to operate the grids, new business models, new financial solution, and even innovation in the way we regulate the market. So one key feature I want to emphasize here is the core of how we regulate the market in the new era. I think we are in the middle of a transition in the way we regulate the market. In the past, the regulation was aimed for specific technology, specific needs, specific requirements, rules and requirements for specific technologies. And we're in transition towards a regulation that identifies needs and services and regulates in a way that different players can offer a solution to this need or service. I'll give just a very small example, a first example. It's not perfect yet, but just as an example, we just a few weeks ago, we published a hearing regarding a new model for operating storage facilities in the high voltage lines, whatever, in the transmission system. In the past, I think when we used to publish this kind of decisions, it was usually, wait, we want to make rules for lithium-ion batteries to operate for 4 hours, etc. And this time we opened it up for every technology. We just explain what we want, what's the service we want. We want storage capacity, and we didn't care much if it's batteries, if it's pumped hydro, or any other kind of technology. And we open it up to anyone, any technology that can meet our needs. And I think this approach, this process will be accelerated very significantly as we implement the liberalization of the market. The Israeli market is in a very unique place. Unlike other markets in the world, we are going through the process of decarbonization, but alongside we are in the process of liberalization of the market. And the two of them together are it's very challenging for us as a regulator. Of course, we deal directly with innovation as well. In the past few years, we issued a decision regarding the sandbox that offers waivers from our regulation to new technologies. It's with cooperation with Yael Ehrman from the ministry. We designated for the first time a budget for the utilities to invest in innovation in the grid. And there are other parts, but I'll stop here.
No, I think it's great. I think going in two parts, from reversing it, where you go regulation first and then publishing, leaving it a little bit more open, and then also allowing companies to stay at home and not have to feel like they have to go to the European market, or not go to the U.S. market, or in the North America, or elsewhere in the world, keeping Israeli technology here.
I think the Israeli market is excited.
It is
Electricity
exciting.
market is excited.
It is exciting.
We're going to have competition in the retail market. We're going to allow distributed energy resources to engage with those suppliers and offer end consumer with different packages. So I think there is a lot to expect in the Israeli market.
Look, I'm expecting you to help me out. You used to be in diamonds, so whenever I get married, I'm expecting you to help me find that ring.
I'll give you a good advice.
Give me good advice?
Don't get married.
Perfect. Well, there's a lot of expectations come with the Power Authority, and also me and you personally, and I appreciate your time for coming up here.
Thank you very much, and thank you for inviting me.
So that was fun to stand up right there with my bad back. But we're hearing a bunch of different perspectives. We're hearing it mostly from the Israeli market and the Israeli side. I want to kind of open it up a little bit more and have a little more of a global idea. So I want to invite Israel Fisher. He's the energy correspondent at The Marker. And then also Yuval Yerushalayim. She's business development for the Israel Export Institute. And I think it's a great idea for what are the geopolitical aspects and what can happen. Both of you, thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm very excited to interview Israel Fisher.
Thank you.
So as someone that covers both Israel and international energy-related news, what insights do you have between a country's energy market and achieving sustainability goals in regards to innovation, regulation, and the diversity of energy production between oil, gas, and renewable energy? And where is the Israeli market compared to other countries? And where do we need to improve, or is there a specific model that we can follow?
So, first of all, I think there is no one model we should follow. Each model have its pros and its cons. And as Israel as a whole, as a country, we should look at all the models and what's going on all over the world in order to achieve our goals of zero net emission by 2050 or whatever it is. The second thing I'd like to say is that Israel, when you talk about it with business people from all around the world, and I've been covering global economy for over a decade, and now in the recent 1.5 years, I'm covering energy and infrastructures. I think that Israel is really well known about its innovation and its technology. And we can use it in order to achieve our goals. But there are major problems, and I'm going to be a little of a bad cop here. Yoav knows whenever he opens the marker, I might get a phone call from him or from his spokesperson. Why did you write it? That's not true. I really do believe that the Power Authority is doing a very good job here in Israel and understands the changes in the market. But there are other authorities here in Israel. For example, the Israeli Land Authority that do want to do good, but it doesn't cooperate with the Power Authority. Or when I asked the Energy Ministry a year ago, do you have any guidelines to what a storage battery should look like? Are there any safety measures we should follow? And they had no idea what I was talking about. That was a year ago. Now they do have guidelines, but the Agency Protection Ministry wants to have his own insights about this specific matter, or the Planning Administration wants to have his insight. And the result is that everything takes a long time. So I do believe that the Prime Minister office now in Israel understands the problem and wants to solve it and let us, different authorities to communicate much better. But till it happens, the green goals, we might miss those. But here the innovation has the opportunity to convince the policymakers that they can use and should use those solutions in order to make the change or to ignite the spark. And I think this is doable.
Okay, great. And the next question, from your perspective, why is 2022 the year of the Energytech?
When I entered the job a year and a half ago, I talked with my predecessor who stopped covering energy in 2017. And I asked him, what should I know? And then he talked about coal and natural gas and fuel and everything. But when I entered the job, I understand that the field is a whole different. And when my mother or my grandmother asked me questions about ideas or companies I read about, I understand that people know that everything has changed. And when my grandmother don't want to use the air conditioner when she doesn't need to in order to save electricity, I understand that people see that the environment has changed, and when you look at COP26, people do know that they should change their behavior, and that's why they're looking for the solutions that will make their life easier.
Okay. Keep on writing for the ecosystem, and
thank you very much.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Awesome job. So we're going to switch it up here. We're going to get the chairs out of the way. But I think we've seen across the board, and we've heard a lot, and this has been across the board inclusive. As a community, as an ecosystem, we've all have heard about everyone. So I'm going to actually invite up one person to the stage this time. Hila Littman, head of clean tech and smart infrastructure for the Israel Export Institute. And then Skyping in is actually going to be Dorit Bennett, CEO of Ilati Lot Renewable Energy.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Dorit.
Hi, everyone. Sorry for being from far away, but this is life. This is life.
Okay. It's so nice to see you again, as always. And I'm very honored to interview you again. So, just a second. Dorit, as a true renewable energy pioneer in Israel, how can we replicate the Eilat Elot vision to other counties in Israel or other countries in the world? And this is especially interesting as you are just logged in from Kenya last week.
Yes, I think it's very, very easy, because to make solar panels, to build them and operate them, everybody knows already. What is the important is the philosophy that a region could be an independent region. But that doesn't mean that he has to be unconnected to the grid. That means that a region can look at itself to see what are the resources and the strength that the region has, what are the needs, to analyze it, to understand which energy resource they have, clean energy resource, how they have to bring, how much energy they have to bring from outsource for the region, how storage can be part of the ecosystem, how to build a microgrid. And once you understand this, I think all over the world, all the places, you can analyze the region, decide what would be the region, and then to see how you get strategically into the region, take all the technology existing, all the innovation that is going to be introduced to the energy market, and how to manage it. So in the end, and of course, the philosophy that you want to reduce as much emission you can from and be on renewable energies. This can lead every region in the world to find his way to implement the highest percentage of renewable energy as possible.
Thank you. And Dorit, from your perspective, why is 2022 is the year of Energytech, and what are your plans beyond this year to facilitate growth in our energy sector?
I think that, as Yael said before, it's not the 22 that will be the Energytech year. This decade would be the Energytech decade. The understanding that we have to reduce our gas emission to the atmosphere, our understanding that innovation should be the next step. By the way, the Boston Consulting Group showed that to reach until 2050 zero emission carbon in the economy, so there are another 35% of technologies that are not existing anymore still. So we have to promote a lot of innovation, and the innovation should not be only in technology, it should be in regulation, because still Israel will have to fight, and this year should be a very important year to the regulator to understand that they should not control Israel as a monopoly in energy, and has to distribute also the management of energy. And this is unique step and very important step to afterwards implement all the innovation everybody's talking about.
Thank you, Dorit. And just let me tell you from my personal point of view that actually you're making great example of how energy sector can be fully exclusive with great cooperation with all the stakeholders here, from investors and organizations, private companies, regulation, and governments. So thank you again.
Thank you for your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So moving on, there is one thing before we move forward to talking about some new players that are within the energy sector. We would like to let you know that there was a last-minute change in the schedule. The Minister of Energy herself, Karine El-Kharaj, she was supposed to be here, and we do thank her that she was going to come, and we hope that she comes to the next one. But we do thank the Ministry of Energy for their support and the continuation. There is, for this next and final portion that we want to discuss, it is the new players that are within the field. These are people that you might have not heard from before. So I want to bring up first Barak Ben Avinoam, managing partner of BGV, to discuss kind of what BGV is and their strategy.
Hi. Thank you very much. Thank you, Eshel. Thank you, Cody. I'm excited to be here and share your great event. So BGV is a VC out of Palo Alto, California. I'm running the Israeli office here. And I'm really excited to announce that we're also getting into climate tech investments and energy tech investments. In fact, we're taking part of the incubator bid together with the Net Zero Technology Ventures Group. And you'll be hearing quite a lot from us regarding climate tech and energy tech investments. So thank you, and looking forward to getting some executive summaries from you guys.
So everyone, they will be here afterwards as we're going to go a little bit in rapid fire. So next I want to have Yair Reim, managing partner out of Extania, come up and share also about their vision and how you can reach out and what you could do with them.
Thanks, Cody. Hey, everybody. It's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Yair Reim. I'm Israeli, but I live in Europe. I'm co-founder of Extania Capital. Extania is a climate-first venture fund. By climate first, I mean that it's we're tech agnostic. We don't care if you develop software or hardware. What does matter is that you make a big impact on climate. So we know that CO2 is a molecule and you cannot just blockchain it away. And therefore, what matters is the carbon math that we do, and we look into every company to make sure that you can really make a difference. If you can make a difference, we will be happy to invest in you. We also invest in other funds that think like us. So we have multiple vehicles. We already made the first investment in Israel, H2 Pro, with several others, and we have a few more in the pipe. Together with my partner Torben, we're here to do many more things, and I hope to talk to many of you afterwards. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. So as we move forward, I would love to invite Tal Shachar, principal at Deep Insights, to come up and share about Deep Insights and the valuable work that you're doing.
Yes, thank you. So Deep Insight fund started a bit over a year ago. Our focus is investments in deep tech. For us, deep tech is science fiction, something that was not possible until now. We invest in all sectors, including energy. Recently led the deal in Adionics, and investing in all stages as well. So from early stage to late stage. And we are very open for collaborations with other funds, other entities, and happy to be here. Thank you.
And then to wrap it up out of the four, Yaniv Itzaki, general partner at Paradigm Shift. Love to invite you up. And just a reminder, as I will send out everyone's name, and we'll also send out contact info so then everyone can get in contact with you and be able to help out.
My name is Yaniv Itzaki, co-founder at Paradigm Shift Fund, a clean tech VC based in Australia with strong ties in Israel, Europe, and the US. We invest in energy, of course, food tech, agri-tech, logistics, and materials, ranging from seed to A and B rounds. We're looking for deep tech technologies, anything between renewables, storage, and even nuclear energy startups. Looking forward to hearing from you. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. So this is why this is a fully inclusive ecosystem. You've heard from across the board, everyone, and I actually would love to bring up our partners to come up and join me on stage. Hila, if you would like to join us as well. Yeah, and we'll finish it off with a few words from everyone. After you, one of you go right ahead.
Okay, ladies first. Well, thanks a lot for being with us today. It's been a pleasure to listening to all the interviews and the insights shared on this stage. On the side of Startup Nation Central, we're hopefully seeing you either in person or again remotely, again on March 1st, where we're going to launch the Climate Solutions Prize. That's one of the initiatives that we are developing in order to invigorate the Israeli ecosystem, to align more segments of it with the climate change global challenge. And we're happy to see you over there. This is an initiative that we're doing together with a number of partners, together with the JNF Canada, Kakal Israel, with the support of the Paris Center of Innovation, as well as a number of organizations that we will be announcing on March 1st that are supporting this initiative that includes competitions for researchers in the academia and startups. So that's about it.
Thank you, Yael. So I would like, first of all, just to tell everybody that in the Israel Export Institute, especially in my sector, this is the energy cleantech sector. Actually, we are using the map, the Energytech map, as on a daily, almost daily basis in front of our trade offices all around the world as excellent marketing and information tool. So this is a great initiative also for us and also for the trade officers. And second of all, I would like to tell that during March, we are planned on holding exposure event for the Energytech ecosystem during the Energy Week in Berlin, Germany, which is supposed to be held with global and key market partners and companies. So it's going to be also great opportunities, and of course we'll share details very soon. Thank you.
Awesome. From our perspective, I want to thank both of you for partnering with us on this event, Startup Nation Central, for obviously putting the map together with Finder. Also from your side, both of you have helped out so much in gathering all the data. You both have mics. I would say do a mic drop because you've done so much work. I'm going to drop my papers. Thank you all. This has been an amazing event. I hope this has been extremely insightful for you. We've had everything from regulators, ministers, Ministry of Energy, private, public. We've seen it all. And I hope you have learned a lot. This is an ecosystem where we absolutely come together and we work together. Come find Ignite the Spark on LinkedIn. You can join our LinkedIn group, our WhatsApp groups, and this is how you can get in contact with everyone. I want to thank all of you for joining on the live stream, and then all of you here in person for joining, and then everyone here in person, you can now go up to the 4th floor for refreshments, happy hour, some cocktails, and networking, obviously. Thank you all for coming, and I hope you have a great day.